On this week's Xamarin Show, I have my good friend Sam from Progress Telerik telling us about bots and beautiful conversational user interface, so tune in. Welcome back, everyone, to the Xamarin Show. I'm your host, James Montemagno, and I'm a program manager for our mobile developer tools. I have my good friend Sam back on the show, all the way from Progress Telerik. You used to know them as Telerik, and now the Progress Telerik, is that correct?
Yeah. Well,
yep.
Yeah, Progress is the bigger company. We still make Telerik and Kendo UI and all the things that you know us for.
Yeah, so all the things, basically. I know you for Kendo UI, but I also know you for all of the different beautiful controls that you make for Xamarin and iOS and Android.
Yep.
And now you have new stuff, Sam.
Yep.
What is this new bot conversational UI thing?
Yeah, let's talk about chatbots this morning. How
Yeah,
about
I know literally this much about chatbots. All I know is that the story of this 19-year-old kid that created a chatbot to help me fight parking tickets, and it's been amazing. That's all I know about chatbots.
Yeah, I mean, chatbots can be as dumb or as smart as you make it. So it's really up to us developers to make the most of it. But the tech is here.
Okay.
So let's dive in. So once again, I'm Sam Basu. I'm a developer advocate at Progress. We make Telerik and Kendo UI. We'll talk about all of that. That's my Twitter handle. Let's talk about conversational chatbots.
Yeah, sure.
Because I think it was back in 2016 almost, where Satya got up on stage and Build and said, conversation as a platform, it's a thing. Let's make chatbots.
Yeah, I have my phone, right? I have my phone here.
Yep.
I press it hard, and I start talking to it, and then it sometimes speaks back to me.
Digital assistants.
Magic.
It's all the same thing. It's because behind the scenes, it's services that you are triggering.
So the Alexas and the Googles and the Cortanas of the world, those were kind of maybe the first chatbots in a way?
Well, they're agents.
They're agents,
The stuff behind them is what's bots.
I see, got it. Okay.
So there are different types of bots. Obviously, we already started the conversation. There are spider bots that crawl the web. There are different types of bots, but what we are talking about...
That sounds scary, by the way. I don't want spiders crawling anywhere. They're terrible things.
We are talking about conversational bots.
Okay, good.
No things that you can have a conversation with, either typing or you can just speak to them, right? So the first thing is bots are apps.
Okay.
They are complicated apps because they have lots of hooks in the back end and how you have them with their plumbing and where you have them installed. Oh. So they're apps. They are mostly cloud-based apps, but to what you're referring to, the front end can be different things. When you talk to your Alexa or Cortana or Google assistants, you're talking to agents which are smart, and then they fire off things in the back end based on what you're trying to do.
They're just like the user interface, essentially, at some point, whether it's text that you see in an app, or it is an app, or it's just something talking to you. I now have a Google Home that has a screen, so the Google talks to me, but also shows me stuff. So it's kind of multiple agents at the same time. Is that correct terminology?
Yeah, exactly.
Very cool.
Behind it is a serverless function or an Amazon Lambda, something that knows how to do something, and it's how you kind of come down the flow chart and trigger that particular thing.
Okay.
So that's what we're talking about. So you can have agents, you can have platforms, you can have chatbots deployed to things that people are already using, like Skype or Messenger or Tuli or whatever. So this is what gives the chatbots the personalization of meeting the customer where he or she is at, and also the intelligence behind the scenes.
So the platforms here, Skype, Messenger, Twitter, those are kind of things that I can hook into, because I can't really hook into, I guess, Siri. I mean, there's some extensions, right? But my users are everywhere.
Right, exactly. So you essentially deploy your chatbots on different channels, and then you trigger them based on what the conversation is from whichever platform you're on. Okay. Now, what makes chatbots smart is all the stuff that goes behind the scenes, your rules engine, like how to have a conversation. And you don't want chatbots to be very dumb, like just be able to answer fixed things. You want to have a more natural conversation. And this is where things like cognitive services and natural language processing comes in, which makes it smarter.
Okay.
And by nature, chatbots are also meant to be stateless between multiple hits to the same service. But if you want, you can say, get me out of here, and it knows what here means. So it remembers a little more things about you.
So based on the verbiage, it can kind of detect, I'm at home, or I'm on the road, I'm driving a car, maybe because you have a device that you're talking to.
So that's all the intelligence and the personalization behind the scenes. Now, you can build bots in many different ways. I have honestly not used Lex or Facebook, but I have used Microsoft Bot Framework, which I think we are more comfortable with in the Microsoft space. But there are lots of frameworks out there, and all of them do similar things.
Okay.
When you talk about the Microsoft bot framework, this is essentially what you're looking at. You have a bot builder, you have a portal, and you have some cloud services. So first thing is you can get started building a bot by getting one of the SDKs.
Okay.
So you go to a landing page, you get the SDKs. You can use Node.js or you can use C#. And this is the bot builder SDKs. I think we are at the cusp of releasing the V4 of bot framework, which will bring in some more languages like Java and I think even Python. So essentially you build up your bot locally. They give you a nice bot simulator to work things out locally, and then you deploy.
Got it.
And when you deploy, you can deploy to any of these channels, or you can go straight up to Azure and just have it running in the cloud. And that's where you also get to hook up with any of these intelligent services, like vision, like speech, any of these things.
So instead of like developing an app for every single service, because there's a lot of them, right? Slack, Teams. So would you say like bot framework is like the middleman in between, kind of?
Yeah, sort of. You're not building multiple apps for these different platforms. It's a single app. It's a service.
Okay.
But then you hook it to these different channels. So you have your smartness in one place.
Oh, I like that. That's cool.
Yeah. So that's the cognitive services, which gives you intelligence.
Cross-platform bots.
Yes.
It's like the Xamarin of bots.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, got it. Perfect. Now we're on the same level.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's one app. Now Azure really helps out because it not only helps you develop your bot, but also deploy it very easily to these different channels. And they'll help you out with different types of APIs and scalability. You might have a bot that's sitting out there which no one uses, or you might have a seasonal thing which like spikes up.
Yeah, like you're doing winter sports or something, perhaps.
So I'm a big fan of this because it takes care of a lot of the headaches. So that's where we're at. Now, as with anything else, it all comes down to user experience. And UI plays a big part, and not just how quick and easy it is, but it also needs to be delightful, and users need to be just do click, click, and out.
So you got to have a smart bot, but a pretty bot too.
Right. Yeah, and this is where we can come in and help a little bit. Like you said, we are Progress, and people know us as the makers of Telerik tooling, which is for all things .NET. WinForms, WPF, Xamarin, you name it.
Everything. Pretty things, so we can make pretty things.
Yeah. Any app, any platform. But people also know us as the makers of Kenda UI, which is all of our JavaScript and front-end tooling. This started off very simple in just as a jQuery-based library, but in the last couple of years, if you see how the web stack has evolved, we make components for Angular and Vue and React. So it's gotten complicated, but it's the same idea. It's smart UI. Just render it however you want.
It's like how I go into file new ASP.NET Core app, and I can pick basically any of these, right? You can do whatever you want.
These are front-end SPA frameworks, JavaScript frameworks. So you can render however you want. So that's our product suite. And normally we do little things everywhere, but for the first time we have been able to do something that's across the board. And we call that Conversational UI. So essentially, we have built smart modern UI for chatbots. And you see the list of products that we support, everything from the web to web forms, ASP.NET MVC, Core, Xamarin, WinForms, WPF, you name it.
So it's a set of tools that are on top and integrated into the current tools that people are already using.
Yeah, because we have much of the UI that we would like to throw in front of chatbots, and we just have it for every platform now, web, desktop, and mobile. So there are framework agnostic. You can hook them up to whatever chatbot framework you have behind the scenes, and it works seamlessly. We give you a consistent API.
Well, that's nice. So that way I get, not only now I get like my bot backend, but I have a consistent front end. So I'm developing one bot service, one app user interface that's going to scale across anything I'm building.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
cool.
Yeah, so that's what we have been able to do. But you and me are obviously big fans of Xamarin because we would like to make a cross-platform mobile app, and mobile is a great example of doing chatbots right because it's very personal. It's easy to just type and click, click, and you're out. So let's take a look at some of this stuff and how we could get started. So first thing is that's our landing page. Telerik.com, Conversational UI. It tells you how to do this for every platform, web, desktop, and mobile. And then the thing that I'm going to show you is for Xamarin, which is our Telerik UI for Xamarin suite. I'm not going to walk through a whole bunch of code. I'll show you a little bit of it, but all of this code is out there. So hit that big trial button, and you'll get the code.
So this is part of Telerik UI, is like all of the controls, and then the Conversation UI is part of that control pack. Okay.
And we are adding like more value to people who already use our stuff. These are all controls that have been added to existing suites and existing subscriptions that people might have.
Very cool.
So when you hit that button, we'll give you a sample app. So let's kind of walk you through. I'm on VS for Mac, works the exact same way with Visual Studio on Windows. And this is the app that I want to show you. So
this is what I'll get when I download the trial?
Yeah,
okay.
You get the bits and you get the sample app.
Nice.
Okay, so this one has UWP and Android, but for the sake of time, let's just do iOS.
Sure.
Let's run this and we'll see how this works.
Okay. Now, does this work with xamarin.forms and Xamarin iOS, or is it both across the board? Oh, very cool.
Yep.
So you get to pick and choose what you want.
You can do native UI or you can do Xamarin.forms wrappers.
Nice.
Yep.
Very cool. And then it's a similar experience then, because it's rendering the same user interface.
The APIs are exactly the same.
Awesome. So if I have different apps, maybe I want to integrate into a legacy app, and then a newer Xamarin.forms app that I have would be the same
exactly.
thing.
And hopefully your middleware, the integration with the bots, that's kind of consistent across, and then you run it for different platforms.
Perfect.
So here's our sample app.
Cool.
I'm literally running a trial. So you go in here, and these are apps that are out there in the iOS and Android and UWP stores.
Oh, so I can download a trial.
Yeah, you can just try it on your device. You don't have to get the bits. But let's fire this up. And first thing it's going to say is, what type of bot do you want? Let's do travel assistance. It's connecting to Azure, because I'm going to show you this in a minute, but it's connecting to Azure bot framework, and we actually have a bot that's deployed and sitting out there on Azure, which we are connecting to from a Xamarin app, but we can also connect through any other platform that you can build on. So this one's a travel assistance. Where do you want to go? Let's just do time with friends, just you and me. We're going to skip the families. When do we start? We are tired. Let's do
tomorrow.
Right after tomorrow. Why not? Maybe
no, 10 days. 10
no,
days.
it's a little much with you.
Okay, 5 days.
5 days.
I mean, that's pretty much, after 5 days, I don't know how much Sam I can take.
Yeah, so two people.
So I'm actually, you're having like a full thing.
Yeah.
Like you're actually giving it info, basically.
Yeah, and you already saw a little bit of the UI come up. This is again one of the pickers. So we tried to throw in the UI that makes it a seamless conversation.
So this right now, what I'm seeing is the Telerik UI for conversational UI.
Hooked up to a bot framework.
Hooked up to a bot framework.
Azure.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
I just want to get that clear, that everything we're seeing, like you didn't, me as a developer didn't have to write these little bubbles.
Nope, we got it all. So let's go to Portugal. Okay. Now the next thing.
How's your Spanish?
Not very good. But these are what's called hero cards, and we can talk about how these are rendered. You essentially choose thing. It's just easy for the user to visualize something. Where do you want to go? Yes.
Let's do it.
Let's fly Air France.
Whoa, I like how you picked the most expensive one.
Why not?
Well, they are an Alaska Air partner, so I'll get points. So that's good. That's important.
All right, so now it's saying, hey, I got your flights, I got your reservation, and that's it. That's my phone number, and you're done. So just a quick example of how you can go through automating things with the chatbot.
And here I'd imagine that this would be an application. My user is logged in already.
Right.
Like you know about them, so you're passing credentials to the back end.
Yeah.
Is that kind of what we're simulating?
Yeah, and you can have authentication as they come into your app. One of the things that we talk about with chatbots is it's not just the nebulous things, like when you see the Skype demos or the Google keynotes where you use a chatbot to make an appointment.
Yeah.
Those are nice, but sometimes we enterprise devs think, okay, what does this mean for me? And it's also a lot about automating enterprise workflows, little things that your users might benefit, where it sounds bad to kind of get rid of humans, but human energy is better spent on more creative things, if you may. So we actually worked with a hospital where they were scheduling appointments with doctors, and they were able to cut down on some human workforce because it's just like with the doctor's calendar out there, it's just automated.
Yeah, it's all info that's available, so if you can just kind of scrape some of that, get it, you can, like you're saying, kind of remove some of easy and pieces that are tedious.
So again, like work through these examples and see how we are trying to provide examples of how easy this can get. Like this is booking a checkup with your physician, and it knows who the doctors are who are available, and then choose a date. That's a calendar control that comes up. That, and then what time do you want? So it's very easy for the user to just go click, pick my insurance, and then done. That's it, right? So just a quick example. Now, this is what it can look like in an advanced demo, but let me kind of walk you through how to kind of set this up. So first thing is, if you're using Microsoft Bot Framework, start here. This is the dev.botframework.com. This is the homepage, which will get you the SDKs, and it gets you a way to kind of stand your bots up and then include that in different channels.
Cool.
But what's easier is doing it on Azure. So this is, I'm on portal.azure.com. This is Azure Portal. So the easiest way to create this is do that, create a resource, And then I can go in here, AI machine learning, and I can pick a web app bot.
Ah, cool.
Right out of the gate, it gives you this nice thing to kind of play around with, and it gives you some templates.
Ah.
So when you say basic, it just literally creates an echo bot. So it just relays back what you say. You can have a form bot, which is kind of helps the user type in things that go into a form.
Oh, wow.
You can have a natural language understanding, so I can say more natural things to the bot. What you saw was a Q&A bot, which is kind of walking you through like a wizard that helps you get a reservation done. Or you can have a proactive bot, which kind of asks you, like, what do you want to do today? Things like that, which are a little more open-ended. So Azure kind of helps you out with some of these templates.
Very cool.
So you can build these things right in Azure. You can edit the code in your browser, which you wouldn't want to do a whole lot of it. But then you can download the project and open it up in VS Code or Visual Studio and run with it.
Wow, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Wow, bananas.
Yep, so that's how you play around with it. Now let me show you, I showed you a kind of an advanced demo. Let's kind of break this down a little bit, right? So let's close this, and I'm going to show you this. This also is a xamarin.forms app, and the only things that I have in here is xamarin.forms and Telerik UI for Xamarin.
Okay.
That's the only things you need. But once you do that, you can light up some UI with your bot. So what I have here is a repeat bot service that essentially just takes a message from you and just relays it back to you after a delay. So it's just an echo bot. And then in my XAML, and again, this is cross-platform UI we are talking about, works with iOS, Android. All I have to do is just one rad chat, right? That's it. And you can set up more properties with it, but item source is binding it to a collection. But once I have that, I can start doing things in my XAML, or if you want to do MVVM, you can do command binding and behaviors and so on. So I have my bot service, and then I start this up. So let's actually fire this just to see how this initially looks like without us doing anything. So all we are doing is binding it to the repeat bot service, and we are giving it a UI. Now, one thing to keep in mind is any UI that you throw in front of these apps, the images like this little bot guy, those need to come from the iOS and Android projects, because those are image resources, right? But otherwise, we'll give you the shell to kind of play around with it. So this one here is saying, hey, I'm your bot, and if I say hello, it knows how to relay back. Exactly.
So and that actually went and talked to a bot service, or is it just?
It's local.
It's a local bot service, kind of emulator in a way.
So that's just a hello world type thing, right? So let's go to a little more advanced controls. Let's do dates here. We saw a lot of dates being picked. So how do you render dates? It's super simple. So essentially, you have when we render a bot. Or I guess our UI in front of these bot frameworks, we have several core pieces. One is an items collection, which is the container that holds all of your chat items as they come in and as they go out. And then on top of it, you can throw different types of pickers.
So all those the bubbles or the slider and all the things that we saw.
Those are things that you can add onto the chat item collection. This one here is just doing the date picker. Notice how I can set things up like the min date, max date, and then I add that into my chat collection, and that's how. And then whenever the user picks a date, when this property change gets fired, and I can grab what the user picked. So that's how easy it is. So let's run this thing real quick.
So kind of here, you can kind of build up the user interface. So maybe you go in. I'm imagining like the one where we saw earlier. Like you may prompt a question, and then based on that question, you would present specific UI.
Exactly. Yeah. So if you were to having the user pick a date, you just throw in the date picker context, and that renders the UI. And it's going to be a native calendar on iOS and Android based on whichever platform you are. And you can swipe around, and then once you pick a date, it knows what you picked.
That's got it. And that's here the items, the remove. You're removing the selected one, then adding in the text there. Exactly. That's pretty simplistic. I like it.
And the time picker works exactly the same way. This one's a super simple example. If you were picking pizza toppings, you will just throw in a list, so you can bind it to an item source collection, and whatever it is, like your POCO business objects, C#, whatever it is, once you bind it, you can have single or multiple selections and be done with it.
Oh, very cool. And then you're just doing the code behind, but like you said, you could do VVM style.
Yeah, exactly. Nice. So let's turn that off, and let's look at something a little more advanced. This is where the cards come into picture.
Those nice, cool,
cool cards.
Hero cards.
So these cards can either just have a basic card, in which case they have a basic card context. They have a title, subtitle, description, and then action is what happens when you actually tap on one.
Oh, okay.
Right? So that's a basic card, but we can also do an advanced card which has an image, which actually makes it a little more interactive. So again, these images need to stay on the native platforms, projects. So let's do that, and let's make sure we are returning the image card. So let's turn that off, not the basic card. Let's return the image card, and let's fire this up again.
Got it. So just like where you were picking certain items, we still have a picker item. Those picker items are my cards in this case.
Yep.
It could be text, it could be anything.
And this is what helps you provide that rich user experience. So now we're selecting a conference, VS Live, DevReach is a conference we put together in Bulgaria, and then Ignite is coming up. So just a nicer way for the user to kind of glean information, just like one tap and you're done. So when I hit select, you selected DevReach.
Now at this point, that's when you would call back to the bot service, right? And then you would, got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's just how to render the UI. Behind the scenes, it's entirely up to you how to hook this up.
Got it.
Now the important thing to keep in mind is, if I may show you one of a simple bot that I have here. This one's an Echo bot. This one's deployed out to Azure. And if I go in here and look at testing this, so this one's just an Echo bot, and I can type in whatever I want here, and it gets me back an Echo. And let's see, you see that? Now, this one here, if you look at the channels, this one is deployed on Skype. It's deployed as a web chat. So you can have this embedded in any web application that you want. But if you would rather have it talk to it through a mobile device, then Microsoft provides what's called Direct Line. It's an API that can be used through JavaScript, through C#. And if you're doing C#, you can actually go down to a lower level and do WebSockets. So you're doing very fast communication to a RESTful endpoint that is your bot.
Very cool.
Right. So again, how you build your bot is entirely up to you. Make them as smart as you want with Luis and with cognitive services. Make them as natural flow as you want. We will come in and give you the UI to throw in front of it.
Very
and
cool.
so start here, conversational UI. You can play around with the same travel demos that I showed you on Xamarin. You can play them out on the web, on WPF or WinForms.
Nice.
So all that we wanted to do is throw some modern UI that we already are good at in front of chatbots. And hopefully enterprise and developers realize how bots can really help make enterprise workflow a little more automated. Yeah,
it's super nice just to kind of actually have that kind of just building up, kind of seeing how I can build and structure it, and just the back end's the back end, and let me just pretty up the UI. Exactly. Sam, this has been great. I kind of have a better understanding now of not only bot frameworks, agents, all the good things, and how to make a pretty UI.
Yeah, sweet. Cool. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. We'll have all of the links in the show notes below. So make sure that you subscribe to The Xamarin Show so you get updated each and every week. So become part of the notification squad, hitting that bell, doing that thing, subscribing on YouTube, Channel 9, you know what to do. So until next time, I'm your host, James Montemagno, and this has been The Xamarin Show.